Are you ready to master your sales process? Are you ready to have a sales process that feels great for you, brings in your ideal clients, and that has both parties enjoying that interaction? So I'm here to tell you that it's possible, and I'm going to walk you through the steps that I use, because essentially it's a roadmap that guides you with the right stops every single time. This way you can enjoy the process, be efficient and profitable in your business so that when you're doing all the marketing activities in your business, it will turn into results for you. Ultimately, that can give you peace of mind and the business that you want and the life that you so deeply desire. So this is about your sales conversations and how to get them to the yes. So let's jump in with number 1, and that's connection. In each and every sales conversation, I like to take time to connect. So what do I mean by that? Well, this is where you get to help people to that know, like, and trust connection. We all know that people want to buy from someone they know, like, and trust. And the best way to do that is to find a way where you get that instantaneous commonality. So the next time you get onto a sales call or in a consultation, make sure that you take some time to connect and show how the two of you share something in common. You and I both know that when you find things in common with someone you meet, there's an instant camaraderie that happens. So the next time you jump on a call or get into that meeting with a potential client, take time to connect first. So now, let's jump and talk about step number 2. And step number 2 is listen. Yep, I said it. It's not about talking, it's about listening. So when you listen to them, you learn about them and you learn what's really important to them. So what are we listening for? Well, when we listen, we learn 3 really important things. The first thing is we learn what they're struggling with. We want to ask that really specifically. So when I was consulting in my event business, one of the first questions I asked was, what's the most important part of your event or wedding? In my coaching business, I like to ask, what's the biggest current struggle when it comes to your business? Since business is what I like to focus on, I get to concentrate on that when I ask the question. You want to look at your business and find out what your ideal client's biggest struggles are and how it pertains to what you solve for them. The second thing I like to do is I like to ask them why. And why is this the most important part of your wedding day, for instance? Like if they're going to say that the reception's the most important part, well, ask them why. Or if it's a client, I ask, well, why do you think you're struggling with attracting your ideal clients? This why question is important because it lets you in on their mindset. It lets you know if they are self-aware and if they are even ready to deal with the struggle. And believe me, when you're talking about clients, even in your retail or wedding business, they're coming to you because they want a transformation. They know that they want to order something and they want to get to this place. So that's the struggle. That's what they're coming to you for. So now in my coaching business, the third question that I use is imperative. Why must this change for you now? Or you could ask them, what happens if this doesn't change? Now, the reason I ask this in business is because you get to know someone's sense of urgency. Asking this question will tell you. Now, as a creative entrepreneur, most likely this question won't apply to you when you're selling right then because, well, it's good to always know when you're talking to a potential client that they have their internal urgency connected to what you offer. And most often, especially in the wedding business, their internal urgency is connected to timing. Or when they're ordering something or a product that you have, it's because they want something now. So when you find out if urgency is involved, you're going to get a good idea if someone's ready to buy. So here's the reality. If they don't know what they're struggling with, it's not something you can help them with. And if they're not in a mindset where they actually know why they're struggling and want to change it, they're probably not going to buy. And if they're at a point where it's not important for them to change and make that decision, they won't buy. However, on the flip side, why we want to go into the struggle or hit their pain point first is that the listen and learn phase is very important, because if you can solve their struggle, if they're in a mindset where they're ready to change and make that decision, and now is the time, it's really easy to go through the rest of the 5 steps and welcome them into your business, into working with you. So let's go to step number 3, which is vision. So we started with connection. Then in step 2, we go into their struggle, which is listening and learning, to find out what's not working for them and if you can solve it for them, right? And then step number 3 is vision. You want to find out exactly what they want. And here's why. When you hear someone struggle and just immediately give them the solution that you can help them come up with, it may not actually be what they want. The beauty of a sales conversation is that you can actually speak to someone. When someone's landing on your website and reading something, that's fantastic. And we hope at that point that we've got it right. We've hit them at the right button, and that they're engaging with you to be able to take the next step. Otherwise, you don't have that sales conversation. Here's when you have a sales conversation, though, you're almost like a server at a restaurant. You walk up to the table and you ask someone, "What do you want to eat?" And then you can bring it to them. So this is what happens in sales conversations. When you talk with someone about their vision, you find out exactly what they're struggling with or what they're looking for in order to find out what they want. And then you can go into step number 4, which is the invitation. And this is where you show that you are the bridge that gets them out of their struggle or what they want and gets them to their vision, and that you both can do it together. So here's how you can cultivate some of their vision. You can ask them what their ideal day looks like. You can ask them how they would like to feel. Some clients are really specific and clear. And if they aren't, you get to guide them and to ask them to describe what they want. For instance, you get to help them describe their vision of their wedding day. In my coaching business, I ask them where they want to be in the next 3 to 6 months. During your invitation step, I like to ask this question to transfer or transition into the 5th step. I don't know if it makes sense or if it feels like a fit, but would you like to hear how I help my clients get through the struggle, just like you shared, and get to their vision? This is how I do it. And then when I share my invitation, and again, it's an invitation, not a pitch. I'm not a fan of pitching to people. I want this to feel good for both of us. I ask if they want to hear more, and they'll say yes. People always say yes when we get to this point. Because if there is a yes, then I like to say who I work with and what they receive. These are the results and how we're going to do it. So this is what I say. So I love working with amazing women entrepreneurs, especially creatives. They get everything that you need to know to make their business run efficiently and profitably, especially around sales and marketing, to bring in more money into their bank account, to live a fully expressed life and enjoy the clients that they're working with. And how do they receive that? Well, and then I go, let me add in here that this is the way I create a win-win situation for them and me. It's the secret sauce to putting out your offers. Instead of making one offer, here's how you can work with me, I offer 3 ways. Now let me back up just a little bit too, because when I was doing all my event work, I automatically had a way that I was able to do this and reach out to them really quickly. And it was that I offered my 3 ways in a pricing tool. And so they got to see that even before we got into a sales conversation. And that really made a huge difference in how they already knew where the pricing was and were able to do that. So I'm a huge fan of having multiple offers. Now, when you make 3 offers in a sales conversation, you get the ability to have them choose which way you would like to be supported versus a yes or no. Now, how do you do this? Well, you want to offer all 3 of them at one time. You start with the highest impact, highest amount, and a VIP way to work with you, and then the middle of the road offer that you're most commonly working with clients, and then your small bite offer. This lets you control the sales container. This allows you to establish what is high, what is medium, and what is low for you in your business. And that's really important. And the other important part I want to share is that when you share these 3, make sure you share them without the price point first. Or like in the sales conversation for weddings, they already knew, and I would just point blank ask them, which category did they fall into? So here's the question you want to ask them while you're in the invitation. Which of these ways feels like a way you would like to be supported? Or which of these ways feels like the best of the direction that you would like to go in? Once they make that choice, then you can ask if they want to talk about the dollars and cents of it. What you want to know is, what's their fit? After they've made that choice, you can share and reiterate who this is for, what they will receive, and how they will receive it, and then the price point. So then we go to step number 5, and this is the step that most people forget or skip. And this is the most important one. This is the close. Now the close is where you ask flat out, straight to that person, how would you like to get started? This is what I like to say to them instead of, can I get your credit card? I like to say, how would you like to get started? It's really simple, and here's what I need from you. And pay attention to this verbiage. I like to say, I just need your name and your address, your email, and your phone number, all that fun, good stuff. And I also take Amex, Visa, and MasterCard. You want to make it really easy for your clients to be able to say yes. And then once you receive that card over the phone, you let them know what they can expect next from you. Because I let them know that they'll get a welcome email from me that will give them the next steps so that they can get started with me. All right. So that's the 5 steps. Yes, I'm going to reiterate, and if you want to hear more like this, I want you to come join me. I like to hang out in my Business for Creatives community inside the Circle app. Just go to the link on my website or on my channels, show notes, etc. Come in there and join the conversation in the community. I share videos, tips, and training. I'd love to see you there, and that way I can support you. And again, here are my 5 steps to get to the yes. 1 is connection. You really want to make that connection. Show that you can be likable, be known, and be trustworthy. You want to go into the conversation listening and learning to find out what they're struggling with and why it's got to change now. And you want to find out what their vision is and exactly what they desire. And then in your invitation, you're going to solve their struggle. Get them to their mission. You're going to show them that you're the one to help them get there. And then step number 5, you're going to close. And close means that you collect that payment. So if you want to hear more, come hang out with us over in the community, Business for Creatives. I hope to see you there. Bye for now.